Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is... Way to interrupt me, Leon. This is the Brewdcast.
Dick.
This is the Brewdcast. And today, well, introduce everybody. First of all, I am, as always, Gal Robinson. I am sorry to say that we had... Leon's blood feud from a month ago when we came back. I went after him, and I lost as well, so sorry. I'm sorry to not avenge you, Leon. And also with us tonight is the lovely Leon Robinson. Say hi, Leon.
Hi, Leon.
Yes. And then also with us tonight is the that guy, Town. It's the Town Drunk. Hi, Town Drunk.
That guy Town.
I forgot to come up with a big word. I was gonna say ineffable, but we started with that, so we have to have a different one. So after our last recording, which may or may not be sequential in our releases. Hi, Ninja. We started talking about like the most influential figures in wrestling, and I think it was Town who cut us off about 3 minutes in and said, "Hold on, this should be an episode." So that's what we're doing. We want to talk about our. This is certain amount of personal preference. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but like this is our personal opinion about who are the most influential people in the sport of professional wrestling. We're each going to do 3. If we have time, we might do like honorable mentions or something, but yeah. With that, Town, I'm going to make you go first. We're going to start with number 3. I'm going to make you go first. Yeah.
I'm still battling number 3 in my head.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna go right ahead, and I'm gonna say number 3 for me would be Tony Khan.
Okay.
Because Tony Khan, when he started AEW, that gave us something to watch. That gave us a reason to be a fan again, and I think we're talking important, influential. I think as far as my fandom goes, I was out of professional wrestling. Like 2014, I was done.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't have paid me to watch WWE. I didn't give 2 shits about it. So when AEW opened its doors, I think that kind of brought me back. So to me, that's important. And right now with what they're doing, he kind of saved the business and changed the game. So I don't think there's any reason that she shouldn't be number 3.
And the last time, at some point in time, we had a conversation in the Discord about the industry and about the fact that certain people have been very detrimental to the industry to try and increase stake in their own product. I don't think Tony Khan has done that. I think Tony Khan has been open and willing to work with other promotions. He has been open and willing to helping other promotions, smaller promotions. Like he's leaving a positive imprint on the industry. So yeah, like I think in a lot of lists you could put him as number 1, especially for modern wrestling.
Yeah. Leon, who's your number 3?
When I tried thinking about this, my mind immediately went historical. And I guess my number 3 is going to be, it's not an individual, it's a group actually, but it's going to be the Goldust Trio, which, for those not familiar, it's going to be the I forgot. Well, I want to say it's Strangler Lewis, Toots Mond, and somebody else. I forget who, but basically they're the ones responsible for wrestling kind of forming into from the barnstorming, work or not work stuff, the more carnage thing into what it is today, where it's the work and then what they call the slam bang thing in wrestling, where they actually started adding bumps and more high flying moves and everything like that. From they're the ones that kind of, they were like the beginning of the NWA and such.
Leon went away with this one. Leon went away. That's there's no argument, Leon. That's an amazing answer.
Absolutely.
That's an amazing answer. The only thing I can say is, yep.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't know who they are, and I'm gonna look them up. When you said Goldust Trio, I was like, Dustin, Cody, who's the third? What is he talking about?
Whoa. Technically, there was a Goldust trio, which would have been Goldust, Marlena, and Mr. Hughes. But a list like this probably shouldn't have Mr. Hughes.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. When
I mean, it's people that change it from like the whole where it was actually competition and
yeah.
turned it more into the business with the work and the whole predetermined results and that kind of thing going on.
That could
And
be
then the
argued that
concept of
should
the
be
work.
number one. That should be number one in every list because without them, there's nothing.
Oh, yeah. It's,
You know,
I mean,
I mean
it was.
that's just a good
I
pick.
put it as 3 because it was the first one that came to mind.
That's fair.
It's not, in terms of importance. It's just that was the first one that I came up with in it.
Right, Gal.
So it's my turn.
We're going in like 3 completely different directions. So
Hell
tell me
yeah.
why it's Battle Cat.
So we do.
Damn you! How dare you? You read my list. You somehow
It's
read
Battle
my list.
Cat because he had cat ears.
So my number 3 was very related to, like, parallel to what Leon said, but I'm gonna rearrange my list a little bit more so that we have some spacing. My number 3 is gonna be Mercedes Moné, and we talked about this a little bit amongst ourselves. I think so. The Fabulous Moolah was a very influential. I know this seems like not. This seems tangential, but I promise it's not. The Fabulous Moolah was very influential to professional wrestling, women's wrestling, in a very, very negative way. She was very manipulative, and, like, as a result, I think women's wrestling suffered a lot. While she was a top draw, I guess, for WWE. I look at Mercedes Moné and she is doing the exact opposite. She is going into smaller companies. She like for all intents and purposes, she is a WWE superstar, and she could have walked out of WWE, demanded a gigantic paycheck, which she did, and she deserves it. I'm not saying that, but she could have just sat on her, like, she could have just demanded a giant paycheck and then just wrote it out. Right? Like, she could have done that on name recognition alone. She could have made a ridiculous amount of money and done nothing to help the business, and she did not do that. And there are other wrestlers who are doing that as well, but I look at Mercedes Moné and she is doing it on such a large scale. We're talking about Japan, who did not have a women's wrestling NJPW did not have a women's title until she showed up. Like, she's wrestling in Japan, she's wrestling across the United States, she's wrestling in Mexico. She's the belt collector, but then she goes and she loses those belts instead of just saying, yeah, I don't want this anymore. Like, she is going out there, putting in the work, putting in the time, and making women's wrestling better.
I can't
Absolutely.
disagree.
And I really, to expound upon what you said, I really like the fact that she did go back, like, after completed her collection and everything, she went back around and was dropping those titles, putting over their promotions people, rather than just relinquishing it via a pre-tape and calling it good.
Yes, and I love her for that. And I think she's going to be a huge part of wrestling history because of that. Yeah.
I do too. I think she's doing what she always wanted to do. I think, and she's lifted up, like, she lifted up AEW's women division, even though a lot of people, I think, maybe don't see it that way. But her presence really kind of helped that out, and that division right now is killing it. I mean, they are just killing it. So.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to her. I want to see her come back, and I want to see her get a run as the actual AEW Women's Champ. I think it's time.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. So, Town, you're up. What's your number 2?
Oh, I'm going to piss you off, but I'm going to do it because I have to.
Wait, maybe not.
It's a Cole. I'm going to put these two together. And everyone can hate me, but I don't really know how else to approach this. So my number 2 is going to be Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan.
Gross.
They're
Kind
shitty
of figured you were
people.
going that direction.
They're shitty people. They're shitty people. And they did terrible things and they suck. But they also built the empire of which our fandoms exploded off of. And we can't deny that, and we can't look past that. The way Vince McMahon did things, he did some really shitty stuff, but he also knew how to market. He also knew how to make stars, and he did. And Hulk Hogan, look at the 80s. Hulk Hogan was everywhere. The guy was just the biggest thing in wrestling. Did he wear out his welcome? Yeah. Did he tarnish his legacy? Yeah. Is he a piece of shit? Yeah. But that run they had from like 84 to like 90, 91 was incredible. I mean, it was just incredible. And we were all, you saw Hulk Hogan, it was like, ooh, Hulk Hogan, even if you didn't really know what wrestling was. So they did an incredible job with that, and we're fans because of it, and it sucks, but it's just kind of the way it is. And I think when we make that list and we say it's important, we have to say Hulk Hogan, we have to say Vince McMahon, but we have to have that caveat of, hey, they're also pieces of shit. So
Question off of this. No, go ahead, Gaps. I'm sorry.
I only have one bit of input. No, we do not have to say that because I will not say that. That's all I want to say.
That's fine.
Go ahead, Leon.
That's totally fine.
Question off of that. There's the old question, the old searching from Vince. Especially you'd hear about it like when those two were on the outs, where Vince kind of asserted that he could have made anybody Hulk Hogan. Do you think it, like, with that machine behind it and everything, do you think he could have been someone else?
No, I don't think so. I think that was just the right. I think that was just the right mix. That was just the right mix. I mean, they changed the wrestling game.
Right place, right time, right people.
Yeah.
And
they're shitty people. Like I don't.
For sure.
I'm not gonna dispute that. Like they did some really shitty things. But like,
yeah.
Yeah,
let's not belabor that one too much, though.
no.
I think you said everything that is appropriate to say about the situation, all aspects of it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Leon, number 2.
Once again, like I said, my brain went in a certain direction with this, and it just kept going that way. My second one, my number 2, whatever, it's going to be Ricky Dozen. Basically, once
Deep
again,
cuts.
for those not familiar, godfather of Japanese professional wrestling. He's the one that trained and brought up Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba. Basically, the guy that's responsible for. I know us in particular are fans of it and everything, but that style of wrestling, that full strong style thing, somewhat the King's Road style, like a lot of things that we see in AEW that we're fans of, wrestling wise, in ring wise, and everything. The way they tell stories, and it all comes from that man. Starts with that man.
Leon gets an A for this project. Just a complete A. He's making us look like shit. Thanks,
yes,
Leon.
he does. For the first time, I'm like. Normally, I'm amazed at the amount of knowledge that Leon or that Town has, and that's not the case tonight. So yes, A+, A++.
Leon's hitting a home run. I'm letting that his moment.
No, it's really going to bother you when you look it up and find out that I made all this up.
Fuck.
I know. I as the Brewd channel historian, he's just hitting everything. There's nothing for me to say, So, Gal, what's your number 2?
My number 2, you both know, and anybody who watches this knows, I don't like 90s, like late 90s is like my buy-in to wrestling, right? However, in that time period, I also learned about an individual named Gorgeous George. For for those of you who don't know, I think probably mine is a little bit more like common knowledge than what Leon's has done. Um, but all the same, like Gorgeous George, in a world where like it was very like what Leon was talking about. Professional wrestling was very much about the competition. It was not about the showmanship that it is about now. And Gorgeous George was one of the first to do it, at least in America. He came out. I'm just gonna read a clip from or a chunk from his Wikipedia article because I think it sums it up his persona like perfectly. Wagner debuted his new Glamour Boy persona at a 1941 card in Eugene, Oregon. He quickly antagonized fans with his exaggerated, effeminate behavior when the ring announcer introduced him as Gorgeous George. Such showmanship has never been heard of at any time. He was known as the Human Orchid. His persona was created in part by growing his hair long, dyeing it platinum blonde, and putting gold-plated bobby pins in it, which he called Georgie pins. And I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. He came out to Pomp and Circumstance before Macho Man. I don't know if that was a callback by Macho Man. We can discuss that in a second. One of my favorite things, though, is that he would come out and they would spray perfume all over the ring to, like, disinfect it. And he called it was, I guess it was Chanel number 5 or, like, some knockoff of it, potentially. He called it Chanel number 10. And he said, why be half safe? Which I think is hilarious. This man not only made professional wrestling at least much, much closer to what we know it to be now, like where it's more about storytelling, but also about the characters. Like the characters are very grandiose and huge. But also like he was one of the first professional wrestlers to like start making professional wrestling a discussion in the mainstream. And you talk about like Muhammad Ali. I'm sorry, what?
He was the first big TV star for wrestling.
Yes, exactly. And it is especially astounding considering at the time, like Lou Thesz as a professional wrestler was one of the top guys, but also like in media, like we're talking about the time in which John Wayne was like the guy. Like everybody loved John Wayne. He was the antithesis to that in a lot of ways. Anyway, I could keep going on and on and on. Like he is such a fascinating character in professional wrestling. I don't think I can stop.
He was the first. I mean, he was the first. He was the first gimmick. He was the first person to play it up like that. Without him, would somebody else have done something similar eventually? Probably. It would have been as successful as what he did. Who knows? But that dude was really smart, really talented guy. Really talented. Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Down, I believe it's your turn.
We talked about this, and like I knew who number 1 was right away. No matter how I shaped my list, I knew what number 1 was going to be. This is the easiest thing for me ever. And it's not Orange Cassidy.
Damn it.
Did you think it was going to be Orange?
A little, just a little.
No. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. Okay.
Because at the time when the NWO started, he was the one that took it to the next level. He made being a wrestling fan cool, and he brought a lot of people in that maybe weren't going to be fans because he put a lot more eyes on the product, and a lot more people were like, ooh. Because I remember being a little elementary school kid and I loved wrestling, and everybody I knew hated it. And I got to middle school, and it was the new generation, and everybody hated it. And then it started to flip, like towards the end of middle school, when Austin came, when the NWO came, and then this came, and then people started talking about it. I mean, it's just Steve Austin just incredible, incredible charisma, incredible worker. There wasn't anything he couldn't do, especially before he broke his neck. After he broke his neck, he was a little more limited. But watching him before he broke his neck, like if we would have had that Steve Austin, if his neck never got broken,
yes,
it would have been. He would have had 5-star matches every week. He could work. He
Does
can
this
work so
does his character work as well if he doesn't break his neck and he doesn't switch more to that brawling style?
Yes, I don't think it matters.
Okay.
You
I just
watched '97.
I just feel
By the
like the
time
brawling style
by the
ended up
time in
warping into
'97 he got to that
fit the
match with
whole
Owen Hart.
aspect of personality better.
By the time he got to the match with Owen Hart in '97, by the time he got to that point, you knew he was winning the Royal Rumble and winning the belt. It was a completely a foregone conclusion. Like you just watch that back.
Okay.
It's
I'm
completely
just
obvious.
curious.
You're just like, this son of a bitch is so white hot. Did that add to it? Yeah, the stunnering the people added to it. But I think that was an audible they called that probably would have happened either way. But he fuck that time he stunned McMahon. That still is I watched that back and it's nuts. It is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
The way that happened
You're
in the
not wrong.
pop, the white hot pop. I forget how those pops every single week. And the signs, there's just signs that it's just like this was an era.
Yes.
And we don't have that anymore. We do not have that anymore.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, come on,
Yeah.
John. Roman Reigns gets those pops every week when he shows up.
Nah.
With his steel blue eyes and his
Nobody can afford to go to a
Pectin.
show because a nosebleed ticket to a shitty SmackDown taping is like $600 fucking dollars.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
That's not what this show is about, though. I'm going to
Way to keep us on the road here, Gal.
I'm
Good
doing
job.
my best. Because I want to go down that road too, but I'm doing my best here. I'm just going to mirror the thing that is said 122,000 times before. He got to beat the shit out of his boss. He made a crap ton of money by beating the shit out of his boss. And like that was a huge draw. Like thinking about that possibility that you could just go beat the crap out of your boss because you were angry at him, like that was fucking nuts.
He was so cool doing it too.
Yes. And those fucking shirts, like those, like for how many years was he one of the top merch sellers? Probably most of his career.
I bet he still is.
Yeah.
I bet he still is near the top. Driving the truck to the ring, driving the Zamboni to the ring,
This fucking
doing
Zamboni.
all that shit, just was nuts.
Was the Zamboni the one? No, I think it might have been the monster truck. There was one where like it was so big that he like ran into the Titantron. Do you remember that?
Wasn't that the beer truck?
It might have been the beer truck.
I think it was the beer truck.
Just...
The Zamboni, he ran over a bunch of lights in the back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, for as many vehicles.
I wasn't even like. He wasn't like my number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was other wrestlers that like that's my guy, that's the guy. Like you always pick your guy, but it was like nobody dislikes Steve Austin.
It was difficult not to enjoy a segment with him in it.
Fucking cool because he got it.
Yeah,
he's also a good human. Like that's the other part of it. So
he is. Yeah, I think that's pretty important as well.
Leon, what's your number one, and how weird is it going to be?
Actually, I got to pivot a little bit because Gal got my last one there.
I was afraid that you were going to get my second one. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. The other one that had come to mind at about the same time as Gorgeous George was Superstar Billy Graham.
Oh yes,
because his whole larger than life, both physique and his whole rap, and his way of cutting promos and talking, and his whole shit talking thing and everything, which got lifted by Hogan basically, and the whole bleach blonde and all that other stuff. Like it, I mean, we already talked about Hogan and everything, but a lot of his stuff, he admitted or not, yeah.
Straight up,
whether they admit it or not, he straight stole it from Superstar. So that was the other one that I thought of is just, I mean, Hogan got it from him, and that just, domino effect to everybody else, so many other different performers, and the way that they talk and everything else. So that was the other one that came to mind for me.
Yeah.
Leon, you get an A. That was yours are phenomenal. Mine are basic bitch. I'm the basic bitch tonight. Yours are good. Those are fucking all good.
Absolutely.
Those are really good.
All the answers are valid. It's just
Yeah.
my mind
No
went
matter what, if I would have
in a
went down
different
the path,
direction.
if I would have went down your path, Leon, and went a little more historical like that, I was thinking more of like in our fandom. I think you're thinking big picture. If I would have went down that path, I still probably would have put Steve Austin number one. Like I stand
You
by
could
that.
absolutely. Like I said, mine weren't really like
Yeah.
3, 2, 1 in terms of importance. It was just those are the ones that came into mind first.
I think if you were going to make a list, every single person we've said so far would have to be on it.
I think so.
In some way or
Yeah.
That's right.
Gal, bless us with your number one.
Kenny Omega. And I'm going to tell you why. He, in 2000, Leon, I feel like you're gonna correct me on this, but I think it was like 2010, 2012, when New Japan was not really like tape traders, and like it was known, like NJPW in America, people knew what NJPW was, right?
Okay.
But Kenny Omega made NJPW super cool, and we like more and more people, because of what he did with Okada, because of what he did like for like 2 or 3 straight years. Like he was the headliner for a lot of huge matches, like between him and Kota Ibushi. I think that both of them, Kenny Omega more so, I think, but like they did some amazing stuff. When we're talking like, that's just like a drop in the bucket. Like him and Kota Ibushi with the Golden Lovers, and then the Bullet Club, like the shit that he did with the Bullet Club and as the cleaner, and then he took all of that knowledge and understanding of the professional wrestling business that he had gained from working with NJPW and brought it over to the States in AEW. And like I remember when that happened, and I was like, I wish he would have stayed in I wish he would have stayed in NJPW, because like the stuff he was doing in NJPW was so awesome. I was like, they're never going to be able to recreate that in AEW. And I was wrong. 100% I was wrong. I think that like he's very nerdy, and I love that about him, but I also think that that means that he gets the business in a way that other people just don't. And you wind up with these matches and concepts in AEW that he's pulled over from NJPW as well, like his career there, that I don't think we would have ever gotten in mainstream professional wrestling, like without his influence.
He's one of those folks that really pushed the art form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the physicality, the athleticism, the performance aspect of everything. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like he's one of those where what he did, and then you get guys like like Will Ospreay that are pushing it another step and everything beyond what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So no,
I mean,
I love that answer. Fantastic.
he is in a lot of ways, I think, like a flashpoint for a lot of wrestlers. In like Will Ospreay, but the list is much longer than that. I like a guy like Hayabusa, I would think of in the same way. Like there's a lot of professional wrestlers where Hayabusa is their flashpoint, and they just kind of take it in a different way. Also Will Ospreay. But like Kenny Omega, I think, has influenced so many professional wrestlers. And he's still doing the fucking thing, and like he's still amazing at it. Anyway, that is not necessarily part of his influence.
I would love to sit here and disagree with you and tell you why you were wrong, but I don't think I can, because I don't think AEW works without Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
like I really don't think it does. I think he was really key to that. Him and Jericho. I think Jericho was most important. That I think it was Kenny, and then the Bucks. But he's just. You say Kenny Omega's name, and you know what it means. You're getting an incredible match.
Mm-hmm.
Like Work Rate City, and I think that. Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all. I have no disagreement with that. You're spot on.
Thank you.
You are fucking spot on. It's the most agreeable podcast ever. Hey, Leon, CM Punk's a dick.
Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Fuck! It was so close. Do Do we want to
I
go
can't
over?
argue that.
Do we want to go over our honorable mentions? One of my honorable mentions, by the way, Town was Tony Khan. I like 100% agree with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. What does anybody like an honorable mention for me? Um, Part of me wants to say like you'd have to like if you were making this list, you'd have to throw on a John Cena. You'd have to throw on a John Cena
Yeah.
just because of what he did.
Bruno
I
agrees.
feel like the judge
Yeah,
disagreed.
Bruno agrees. But you'd have to throw on John Cena. Would he necessarily be top 5? I don't know. But looking at like kind of the way that I put this together, it would have to probably be like John Cena. The other one I think that I almost would wish I could put higher on my list would be the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Because I think the Undertaker was just incredible.
Bruno double agrees.
All right, that's my answer. Somebody else talk while I mute my microphone so my dog doesn't bark.
Do you want to go Leon or like you can go Leon? I only have one more honorable mention.
I didn't really have anything else beyond that.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll think.
Okay.
Give yours.
I think as much as in the same vein as Vince McMahon, not exactly the same, like dialed down like 15, like in a badness sort of way, dialed down 15 times. I have to say Paul Heyman, because without Paul Heyman, we don't have ECW, and in some ways, like Steve Austin doesn't get his first break. I guess you could call that his first break. That was the first time that he was able to like speak his mind and be the. He wasn't Stone Cold at the time, but like that was sort of the prototype of Stone Cold.
Yeah, it was the beginning of his evolution into that character.
Yeah,
Heyman is a good choice too. All these people should be on. I mean, if you were making this list, I think every single person we name would end up on it in some shape or form. Like if you put a top 50 together, every one of these is on there.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got another one that he kind of he's one of those folks that helped start putting together the whole bit of like Japanese strong style, a little bit of the kind of lucha high flying thing, as well as like the Canadian and American catch can stuff going on, and even name checked by Mick Foley in his first book, and that is going to be Dynamite Kid.
Yes.
He's one of those people that helped start pushing, from the whole, like where you're talking about, about Kenny Omega and how he pushed the art for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think his whole brand of wrestling was kind of started with people like Dynamite pushing the art form in that direction.
Yeah.
With blending of the different styles and all that, as far as his in-ring work and the in-ring performance.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't disagree with that. That's a very good point. Yeah. I feel like Town's dogs are still barking like crazy.
That's okay, they're puppies.
Yeah.
It's allowed to. You can climb instead of jump. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Ninja. It seems like the animals want us to stop.
Yeah, I'm being aggressively smart, man. I have to come back, but I gotta go, so I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, then let's wrap this up. I think this has been an amazing episode. I have been Gal. This has been Leon and Ninja, and also Town and Bruno, and I don't think Brutus, but maybe he had a bark or two. Buck. Wrong dog.
Yeah.
Wrong dog.
That dog's been dead for a long time.
I'm Truth. Bye.
The town drunk swings like a wrecking ball. Gail Robinson's fists, they could end it all. Leon and Curvin, the brothers of pain, and Darius brings thunder like a freight train.